Well, I subscribe to a lot of stuff on my YouTube. Well, to Earl, it's a lot of stuff. Let's go. Let's get out of here. I don't know who Jake's Takes is. I don't know what this is. I ain't never seen these. But it's June, so Earl subscribed to the CFL again. I like to keep my noise down to a minimum. And so let's see my subscriptions now. Now I have on subscriptions list instead of just Earl and Natalie. Natalie, she's so cute. She's so cute. We love her. She's cute. We have Michelle Obama, Barack Obama, Will Smith, Jennifer Lopez, CFL and CFL Classics. Bordeaux and more Bordeaux. Okay. Well, they're getting ready to come out with the new video game, which is involved in NIL, which is where, they had my family, with people that are manipulated by military intel because of their egos and their success through money. You're successful, you have money. Wait a minute. Okay. You're successful, you have money. Wow, hear that, Jesus? Hear that, Muhammad? People with money are successful. There will be a tax. I remember when Al told me that, everywhere he went into town, he said, there will be a tax. He told all the Christians and the Jews that they would be taxed. And it's like, yeah. It's like, why? Well, because we don't value money. We're like King Solomon, share, care, given accordance to need, built to last, right? Everybody brings in all their money. We put it in a building. The Romans show up. We give them their money, right? And so they taxed the Christians and the Christians and the Jews, because they knew they were going to have to pay them money because they deal with money. Mm-hmm. Benjamin Netanyahu doesn't deal with money. The Pope doesn't deal with money. But that you're saying that Saudi royal family is not Muslims. Muslims believe in forgive debt and trespass and love one eternal faithful peace. Share, care, given accordance to need, built to last. We're talking about Muhammad, okay? I'm not talking about the descendants of Abu Lahab. I'm talking about Muhammad, the Messiah, the guy like Adam, Moses, David, Jesus, John, Malachi, Melchizedek, Ehud. We're not talking about barbarians who lie and say, we're like him. No, give me the money. We're going to be successful. Okay, money's not real. Money's an evil human invention for evil people to get stupid people to want to be successful at being stupid. Right. Ruins everything. How can you have a reproductive sexual relationship that's motivated to be successful through money? And then you get off the grid and go you're going to bomb yourself back in the Stone Age to try to have a successful reproductive relationship surrounded by a bunch of people that believe in money and success through money. How are you going to, you're going to go, here comes George Armstrong Custer and you're still walking. We go to the moon, here comes Neil Armstrong, we're still walking. I'm walking, yes indeed, and I'm talking about you and me, and I'm hoping that you'll come back to me. What you gonna do when the world was dry? You gonna break right down and cry? You pretty baby, I'd even die. What's a little blue thing mean? Does that mean like that whoever does the channel is on the channel? Is that what that means? I don't know. Well, she has a podcast. So, Anderson Paak on surviving family trauma, finding his. Yeah, okay, so there it is. Well, is that. No, wait. That's 3 hours ago. 3 hours ago. Okay, so that meant that she's. Okay, so they're still doing their thing on that one. Okay, now they're not, but they were. Okay. Okay. I see. Okay. The CFL Classics is cool, man. They got a big old what's real cool is I like, well, I can't find all stuff. It says, no, they have playlists. And they have playlists of, every, because I was like, I got to break it down into the years where I grew up, right? And they do. There's not a ton of videos, but I think they have like the Grey Cup from every year. And they've got all the seasons, 19, all the 70s and early 80s when Early Bird was there. So I can go back and watch Joe Pow and Jimmy Sykes and Larry Key and John Huffnagel and all those other guys that are what was it, Jerry Taggy? Who else? There's lots of there's lots of guys, and going back and going, okay, yeah, I remember him. Okay, Jesse Armstead. Lots of guys on the teams that I'm going, okay, who's So here's the CFL season 2003. No, that was when I was married to Susie Bear, and so when I was married to Susie Bear, no, not at all, Susie Bear. My marriage was Susie Bear. I had to marry Susie Bear to everybody. Jesus doesn't know. Jesus, the Messiah doesn't test you. Okay. The Messiah doesn't test you. The Messiah, remember when I was at Casa Mia and I said, somebody's got to do something about this. And Jesus, well, you got to be somebody else who can protect the people in this apartment complex better from the crooked county sheriff's office and the federal government and the Crips than you. Oh yeah, it's true. Yeah. Who can protect the people of Casa Mia apartments better from, I didn't know the Church of Scientology had a virtual presence in my apartment. I didn't know the Vatican. I didn't know about the federal government. All I knew about was I found out about the Crooked County Sheriff's Office and the Crips and the meth labbers and anybody doing what was considered like prostitution or something, no, we static don't start, none won't be none. I didn't, that was none of my concern. If they paid their bills, if it was prostitution, that's like the bluest of eye with Toni Morrison, right? That's not my concern. You selling drugs or cooking drugs, you're out of here. That's what me and I told John, hey, we can't have any of that kind of stuff. Having sex with other people for money, that's none of my business. I'm not the Mormon Church. I'm not the Catholic Church, right? That's, however they pay their bills, they pay their bills. Prostitution was not a thing like, well, like I told you, when I worked at Southwest Airlines, we lived right down the street from Van Buren, so, I said, if I was single and that was in that situation, I would just basically pick the girls up, take them to Denny's, pay them for their time, even better than they would have got paid for their time. If somebody actually had sex with them, and then try to talk them out of doing what they're doing. They deserve better, that they're a woman and they deserve love and to be loved. And that's hard to have happen when you're doing this kind of job. It's very dangerous. It can kill you with sexually transmitted diseases. You can get assaulted, not to mention probably assaulted by the people that think they run the businesses down here, and just all kinds of horrible things, and just how much I care about you. And I wish you would find something different to do, to try to survive this hell. But I know how hard it is, right? So, but I'm just that type of person. I've always been that type of person. They know it. And then like when the one people that lived upstairs, and her brother just finally got his license back, went and partied all 4th of July, got drunk and hit a immigrant family's car and killed the baby that wasn't in a car seat, and said he shouldn't have to go to jail because they shouldn't have been here and the child should have been in a car seat. It's like, yeah, but no immigrants came up to you, put a gun up to your head and said, get drunk and now go hit one of our one of our babies that doesn't have a car seat to prove they shouldn't be here because they're not here legally. Okay, they're given life by the glory of God, not by a bunch of assholes who write shit down on paper and think it's reality. Okay, I'm the greatest good shepherd. He said, "What are you going to do?" He said, "I'm going to, the cops show up. I'm going to tell them which direction you went in." That's what I told him to his face. I said, "I'm going to tell them what direction you went in, and that you need to, you did what you did, and you need to atone for it. I didn't call him in and arrest him, but I told him exactly what I was going to do. They come looking for you. I'm going to tell them exactly where you're at. All right. Now, I ain't doing their job for them. I'm the Messiah, not the incarcerator, not the police. Okay, I'm not Sting. Got everything figured out because I'm a fucking genius and tell everybody how to live, being business partners with people that have a virtual reality in your house because they have money and laws that they invent and inventions that they say that you have to indulge them to say that this is their property rights to the planet. I'm not an asshole. I'm a human being. I'm more highly evolved than people that are insane that think they manage. It's hard being in leadership. It's very difficult to rule the world, right? These people were doing a thing called genome sequencing, which was a fall science project when I went to Cochise County, Arizona, right? And they thought it was the bee's knees and the greatest thing in the world because they could figure out how people would do things. And then they could stay ahead of their competition by manipulating their competition through this thing called genome sequencing. They knew what you were doing. Yeah, they knew what you were going to do before you did it. It's like, no, you don't. Because I can't do anything I want to do. I have to do everything you guys want me to do because you're manipulating my environment with money and virtual presence and technology. Oh, God damn, you're dumb as fuck. Now that you told me you've been in the house all the time and all these corporations are manipulating the outcome for them to win, and no one's going to quote unquote win the outcome because the outcome's fucked from Jump Street. Oh, Dave Miscavige and Tom Cruise, your fucking championship geniuses, going to solve all our problems with science from religion. Okay, if you live religion, do you think you need science to solve your problems caused by science? Forgive debt and trespass, love one, eternal, faithful peace. Bam! There, I just solved all your problems. Okay? It's not time yet. I know, it's still not time yet. Yeah, that was 2009. It's 2026. Nothing I can say. Total eclipse of the heart. Turn around, bright eyes. Every now and then I fall apart. And I need you now tonight, and I need you more than ever. The fairy tales are bullshit because they're based off of bullshit. They're based off fantasy of you're going to live a holy covenant, a Wall Street being president, right? It's Camelot, right? And then when you realize that all the Wall Street stuff is bullshit, they kill you, right? Sweet Caroline, bum, 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 good times. Yeah, sell us some more beer, right? People are good for snorts. Yeah, they're good for snorts. They're fucking assholes, man. You're all out of shape. They did that one with Will Smith is out of shape, his COVID body and all that stuff. Okay, guys, you just got tortured through chemical warfare, through a giant military project to decrease the surplus population until we're ready to live the Lord's Prayer worldwide. They're never ready to live. They're not going to live the Lord's Prayer worldwide. They're fucking liars. They're lying to you. They're going to give you this much money and say, now you're comfortable. Now you don't have to want to kill other people. Live in your boxable. Do this. Yeah, they're horrible. Be off the grid. Work off the land. Do all the things we used to do back in the day and see if that restores the ecosystem while they're doing what they want to do to go to the moon and put landing pads on the moon and put down digital printed bunkers for their mass murdering trained dogs that they want to keep alive, but they don't trust and they want to replace with robots. More robots and cars in India. He is. Taj Mahal. And so you're dealing with people that are complete assholes. And then the one that was the straw that broke the camel's back of Earl last night was one of the sweetest girls in spirit I've ever met, wanting to be a boy and not reproduce because her family arranged the marriage through abuse. Okay. And she thinks I'm always going to end up this way. It's like, Really, you're not gonna. Okay. You're gonna get arranged marriage by Chucho and Nardo, and you think Tony's never gonna be alive to show up and be your real father. I am upset with you, Oscar. I love you. Okay. But ye of little faith, you little stinker bug. Yeah, you're okay. You're scared of me. Okay. And Max, there's nothing better than having a woman to have children through. Okay, there's nothing better. No. Hola, no. If Gregory Hines is dating Luther Vandross, okay. Love can't wake you up every day because you have no kids to love. You have sex till you die. It's called prison. Okay. Out of sight, right? Okay. So there's no way to share the word love and feel love through affection if we stop being affectionate between man and woman for men. Women will reproduce women and hermaphrodites, but not men. If they scientifically asked Richard Dawkins, yeah. The only way to get man is through a woman. So then a lot of people perceive, well, then God is a woman. No. God's omniscient and omnipotent. And when man worships God and loves his woman, man continues to live through loving his woman. It's the perfect invention, right? Right? It's perfect invention. Isn't that the perfect invention? I invented God for a holy covenant. Yes, I did. And her name was Eve, right? She's my God, right? According to all you assholes in the Church of Scientology who can't pull your head out of your genitalia, right? I'm pissed at you. You did the same thing with Amy Sue. Okay. With Stephanie, you put us in a marriage that replicated Solomon, David and his wives through the tribalism. Okay. Because Raquel went to perform an abortion through tribalism, and so did in economics, and so did Yolanda. Okay. I couldn't be with Miriam because Miriam would not abort the baby. And we have modern science, and she would survive the pregnancy. Even though I didn't want to have it, she would insist. Because she'd already done it twice. I was like, I don't want to do it again. Let's just adopt. Let's get a daughter, then let's adopt a daughter who's really cute. Like Amy Sue. Okay. That would have been me. I don't want you to go through it again. If you're not going through it, if there's a surgical thing, then something with your body is saying, that you would not naturally survive childbirth. So I don't want to get you pregnant, after the first time. No, that's it. We're not doing it again. I'm not going to have you go and have your body ripped apart to get the baby I put in you out of you. I'm just not going to do that. Okay, I love you. But that's it. We got Brian, that's it. We got Earl Jr., that's it. That's the way I am with my wife. I look at nature and I look at what's going on and say, that's it. That's we're done. That's one and done. That's it. We're done. Good, right? So what are you saying? That, God doesn't want people to reproduce? God, the Lord, is God? No, I'm saying that something's wrong in nature with what's happening with these people and making it hard for them to reproduce. Okay, so we've got to get nature balanced. Do you see what I'm saying? Well, I think if I had married Miriam Delegro Montalvo under good circumstances and we had gotten pregnant and conceived a baby, I think she would have, if she felt she needed an epidural or whatever. Steffi didn't. Steffi said it's like really bad cramps. But Steffi gave birth without an epidural. She didn't want the science community messing with her spinal column. Okay, Amy trusted the science community. Steffi did not. Steffi was like, no, nobody's sticking a needle in my spinal column. I'm going to get this baby out the old-fashioned way. Right? She said it was like really bad cramps, that it was uncomfortable. And her really, really bad cramps is what Steffi said about childbirth. And lots of women look at Steffi like, damn, okay. Don't get near that woman when she's on her menstrual cycle. She will hurt you. Steffi. That's my Steffi. Amy kept getting epidurals, and then she kept getting pregnant and by assholes at the bar because Dave Miscavige and Tom Cruise. You gave him an aircraft controller. Yeah, he gave him an aircraft controller. Their form of tribalism is who's sexy enough and smart enough to be a part of our group, and our group is better than everybody else because we're sexier and smarter. Okay, that's their new tribalism. If you're Africa worthy, it's because you're sexy enough and smart enough to be part of their economic manipulation group. And if you refuse membership in their group, you're just a pervert giving in to other perverts that don't need to be or deserve to be in the group because they're perverse. And anything that happens in their life that they consider perverse, they arrange the conditions for those pervert conditions to keep replicating themselves. I keep telling everybody that. I've been telling everybody that for years. How can you sit there and not live the Lord's Prayer and then say all the people that are being denied the Lord's Prayer are worse than the people that are denying us it? That's fucking stupid. It's insane. A dog could figure it out. Okay? And I'm really pissed off about Emmy being Oscar because she doesn't want to have kids because she doesn't trust and or like the people like Nardo and Chucho that arrange marriages for kids to be tortured by macho bullshit instead of be loved by someone who loves us and won't tolerate macho bullshit. Okay, all my kids have to put up with that shit. And they're my kids. Oscar is a sperm donor. Kate is Ralph Earl Parsons Jr.'s Katie Bug. Okay? Whoever, whenever, wherever was having sex with Amy while we were at Southwest Airlines, when everybody wanted to fuck my girl because they were, hey, he's the best sexual reputation. There's a reason why I have the best sexual reputation of the U.S. Air Force, of Southwest Airlines, of Arizona State University, of Doña Ana County, of Cochise County, of Wyoming, of, Montana. There's a reason why I have the best sexual reputation. I'm the living embodiment of the Lord's Prayer, and you're not. I saved children from being pimps and prostitutes because of my courage of faith and my immaculate love. That's why I'm the most amazing lover in the history of Cumberland County, North Carolina, regardless of how big your dick is, dumbass Freddie LaFall. Okay. Did you go to Clint College too? You going to try to bite off Peggy Pettis' nipple to have sex with Benny Fielder? He's a bitch. If you want a man, if you're looking for a lover, man, you look up on the right one. Ugly brother, don't come home tonight. You all get 86th. Y'all get 86th. They go to bed and pray to a magic guy. I'm not magic. I'm for real. I can see the little tears in your eyes about to fall. You are wondering. Yeah, y'all piss me off, man. You guys are doing the same thing to Mark and Jennifer's kids that you did to Stephanie's son, and you did to Amy's kids, and you're doing to Pontius Lawrence's kids, and Jerry's and Linda's kids and their grandkids. You're denying them the Lord's Prayer. You're denying them a true Messiah. You're giving them science. You're giving them Thomas Dolby's bitch. You're assholes. Don't tell me you're not assholes. You know you're assholes. Let's load this one up. I'm going to go connect to my video game stuff. Maybe watch some stuff by James. I like James. James, how are you? Isn't it a lovely day? And I like Eric. And the guys he hooks up with. I'm going to go, is Tanner still, what happened with Tanner? Oh, Tanner made me laugh. He was kind of dumb. He's funny, yeah. But yeah, no, I like Eric. Eric's a nut. But the kid's not an expert. Yeah, those are all the ones he's playing with. They're the ones that I watched most of their videos when they were doing stuff on those video games that I used to play at a pastime to have an aspect of control in my life, because there was so little control in my life because of manipulation through scientific research that abused my wife and affected my kids, and it was horrible. So the only aspect of control in my life I had was EA Sports video games, and it used to piss me off because of the status quo of economic engines that say, hey, you got to be successful at making lots of money to keep your wife and kids. Oh, okay. I know what you're up to. What are you at? I know exactly what you're up to. You're up to that. What that? They're up to that. They're up to that. What's that? That. See that? That's what they're up to. Okay. Building something great. Yeah, they always think that. Okay, guys, I love you. All right. Peace out, man.